Hello everyone, in today's video we're going to be showing you all of the electrical madness that we did to get this 2015 steering column to work with turn signals and wiper motors and brake lights and all of that good stuff. So we hope you enjoy the video. Alright, I wanted to show all the wiring that we've done in the Camaro, and we've got a lot of things functioning. First of all, we turn on the ignition. We can go ahead and start using the turn signals. And if you go to the back, you'll see that the tail lights that we do have wired in so far are working. And then we go to the other side. We got right hand turn signal working, and of course we're going to put them in the lenses and all that here pretty soon. Also, we have the light switch, and it's functioning on auto. Lights up the tail lights back here. Need to put the battery on charge. They're kind of a little bit dim, but also we've got the shifter solenoid. Step on the brake over here, and it's releasing, shifting. Also the wiper motor. Okay, I got it on high. Got it switched to high, and then low, and well, wait a minute, there's low. And right there we got it wired up so it works on intermediate, and we can slow the intermediate down. All the different settings for intermediate is working. And we have yet to wire up the washer pump, but we got all the wiring set up for it. When we put the front end of the car on, we're going to put a washer pump in there and a relay. We've got the stereo wired up, and as you can see, it is playing, but the volume is down because most likely it's going to be non-duty-free music that we can't play, but it sounds really good with the Kenwood speakers that we got mounted in the back here. And I still have to figure out a place to wire up front speakers. So all of that is functioning, and we've got wired into the body control module so that the cruise control will start to work. The paddle shifters are wired in through the body control module, and if you come over on this side, you can see that these three wires right here have to go to the PCM from the brake switch. It's a 6-pin, and these data lines here all need to go to the PCM, and this one right here will make the menu function on the instrument cluster once it's wired into the PCM. So we'll have oil pressure, oil temperature, and all that good stuff. The other ones are to communicate back and forth for brake switch, cruise control, all of the other functions that make this 2015 Camaro steering column work. Now I don't have it wired up right now, but I do have already mounted and have tested them the remote door locks, and the power windows are working. We'll do another video of showing how they work. Gonna have the switches mounted here in the center column, but I haven't made a mounting place yet because we may have to enlarge the tunnel. Also, I haven't wired it in yet, but we have driver's side power seat. Going to do another video on that. And we have back seats that need to be upholstered, and they're going to be upholstered with the front seats. And the brake lights aren't going to work until the PCM is wired up with these 3 wires to the brake switch. Will also make the cruise control work and unlock the converter as well. So still haven't got the steering wheel control box programmed. Made several attempts at it, but I guess I'm gonna have to go back and read again. You got to push the volume switch up and down, and it's just flashing red and green because it still I haven't got the controls done. It's quite a process, but this plugs in through the radio, and it runs I have a data line connected to the BCM so that it will control the volume, channels, all of the functions on the stereo. Wish we could turn the volume up and let you hear it. It sounds good, but maybe we'll have to hook an iPod to it and have some duty-free music running through the speakers. So, but yeah, it's coming along pretty good. All of this is going to be covered up with the dash. This is the benzol for the instrument cluster. Here is where the light switch will go. Here is where the stereo will go. Also, this glove box will give us access to the sub fuse box, which you can see over here. All of these wires will be loomed up once everything is tested. That glove box will give us access to this sub fuse box that runs all of the relays, power on, ignition, ACC, headlights on and off, high beam, low beam, the 2 wiper motor relays that function for delay, high speed, low speed, and we have the multi-function switch wired in to where when you switch the multi-function switch, you have high beam, low beam. So once we get the front of the body on and the headlights wired up and turn signals and all that, all of our turn signals in the front, see it says check front left turn signal lamp, and that's because it's not hooked up yet. And of course, if you get in really close, you can see that it says 0 miles per hour because, well, there's no transmission, no PCM, and if you look over here, you can see that there are no wheels yet. So that's why it says 0 miles per hour. Of course, when we get the data lines hooked up to the PCM, that should function, but we have to wait until we got the front subframe on, the motor, the transmission mounted, the PCM hooked up. We have, we're going to get the standalone wiring harness from PSI for the E38 computer that will make the 6L80E function with these paddle shifters. And when you put the shifter all the way down into M, which means manual, then the paddle shifters will function. And if you don't want to have to manually shift, you just put it in drive and it will shift through all 6 speeds automatically. So couple little things still need to be worked out, and but the main bulk of the wiring and the functions of the steering wheel is pretty much wired in. Once we're connected through the PCM, it will function basically like a 2015 Camaro in a 1971 Camaro, with all the bells and whistles, talk on your phone, power windows, power door locks, and all of the other type of functions that you would expect in a modern vehicle. All right, I got my front clip on, the headlights mounted, and yeah, it's a lot of work getting all the fenders, inner fenders, header, all that lined up, but got it pretty close. Today I'm going to start working on this wiring harness and get it all routed and up and across, turn signals, everything worked in. Start working on running all the power wires. Got my battery tray mounted in over there, and I'm gonna do a little time lapse, and hopefully I can get this wired up today. right, I've got rib nuts in my fender here, little wire loom holders, so that I can get everything run for the right length. I've got my turn signal running lights pinned out. You have to piece these together, and I've got it run across here over the other side, and I've got this one pinned out for running and turn signal. Got jumper wire coming off to run over here to the marker light. And I started looking at what you have to do to get your headlights hooked up, and you got to pin together all these little pieces. And I went and looked up on AutoZone's website, and they've got the pigtails for those and the marker lights. So we're gonna forego piecing together all of the little clips and just connect and solder. It's just so much simpler. So do a little more time lapse of that, and then we can start testing out all of the headlights and turn signals and whatnot. It's going to be awesome. We've got the headlight switch here. We've got to get everything plugged in. Over there's the ambient light sensor so that the auto will work. So pretty soon here we're going to have the front wiring done for all the lighting. The rear harness is already done. I've got the tail light buckets, new buckets, because the old ones were kind of warped and twisted and cracked in half. So go ahead and get all these lights done, and then we can show you how the turn signals and high beam, low beam, and all that works. Got everything wired in through the high beam, low beam switch, through relays, so that you know, it all works with this 2015 steering column, and kind of conjoined and junction it together with a American Auto wire harness. Didn't use a lot of it, but boy, it sure does come in handy, because you get your fuse box, you get all the wires labeled for right headlight, left headlight, right turn signal, all of that good stuff. So when my pigtails come in, or wire connectors for the headlights and the marker lights come in, then I'm going to go ahead and finish wiring this up and test everything out. hood relay bracket fabricated, and we're going to have starter relay, horn relay, washer pump relay, fan 1 relay, fan 2 relay. Well, maybe not in that order, but I'll label them. And this is how it's going to fit in here. And that way I can get the right distance on the wiring. And then I'll take it off and paint it and solder all the wires in. Okay. But got all the fan relays labeled. Horn relay, starter relay, that's all wired into the PCM, and it'll trigger one of these relays, run a wire up and across, over, down to that side to the starter. I think I got some more of this purple wire left, and that's the color code for GM starter solenoid. And I'm gonna go ahead and wire in some power, probably jump off of that mega fuse right there, group them all into one, and put a terminal end on them. So here we go. Okay, now that I got all my under the hood relays wired in, I'm gonna go ahead and test them, see if they might actually work. Got my skin tool hooked up so that we can see if fan number 1 works. Okay, and number 1 works. All right, let's try number 2. Number 2, command state on. Number 2 is working. Alrighty. That's awesome. Okay. Alright. Well, that part of it's working. Let's try. See if the cranking relay is working. Alrighty. Go in here and take a twist on the ignition. Oh yeah, that starter is kicking over. And see if the horn works. Oh yeah, that's working. It's loud. Alrighty then. Yeah, we gotta getting everything else here wired up to fire it up. Got my coil packs on. Gotta go ahead and put the wires on. I got these wires that are made for headers. Got the little heat shields on them, and as soon as I get those all wrapped up, stick those on and see if we can fire it up. Of course, we're lacking a few things like fitting for the fuel line, and got to hook up tranny cooler lines and whatnot. But yeah, we're going to listen to this thing run here pretty soon. All right, ready to test out all the lights. Let me see. Go ahead, step on the brake. Okay, cool. Try the left turn signal. Oh, turn the ignition on. There you go. All right, cool. That one's working. Let's see. Yep, that one's working. All right, try right turn signal. Okay, let me see if this one back here is working. All right, cool. All right, try turning the running lights on. Okay, those are working. Marker lights. All the marker lights are working. Okay. All right. Try high beam, low beam. Low beam? High beam? Okay. Cool. All the lights are working. You know? Okay, cool. All right. Turn the headlights back on again. Let me see if we can see.
Automatically controlled. Oh, auto.
Yeah. Look at the high beam. Let's see if this picks it up. All right, off of high beam. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, that little blue light lights it up pretty good. All right, cool. Turn them off. Okay. All right, awesome. Everything's working. That was a lot of wiring. All right, cool.